Greetings, I greet you, all divine souls, in the name of our Father, Mother God, plus all the divine light kingdom. Please, if the words you're going to listen to don't resonate with your heart, I ask you kindly to discard them or use them to jumpstart the truth that is within your being. This letter comes from uh, Mary Magdalene, and the title is The Threads of the Soul. It goes like this. Dear friends, I'm Mary Magdalene. I welcome all of you in this circle of light-minded people. You are living through a time of transition, one that is not limited to the world around you, but also takes place within you. You're actively moving into your greater self. That that self that self is not tied to time or space, but is free, unlimited, and able to spread its wings and to gain insight, energy, and knowledge from the other dimensions in which you were once at home. The wealth of that heritage is much increasingly within your reach because you are expanding inwardly, becoming more vast, more spacious. Your consciousness exceeds ever more boundaries. This spaciousness happens through your inner work, by your willingness to follow the path of your soul, and also by your actively seeking the darkness within yourself. As a result, your awareness is increasing, and you are becoming more and more who you truly are. You are creating the transition from an earthly personality bound to time and space, limited by the era and culture in which you live, to a soul-born personality, a personality who is inspired from the level of the soul and who is truly in touch with many more dimensions than just this one. It is preciously because you are making this transition, and your soul is waking up in this body during the course of this of this of this life. That past lives surface in your consciousness, either through feelings, sometimes ambiguous feelings, or through images or memories. And the reason is very simple. Your past lives are still alive. Those personalities that you have been in all those times and in all those places are not really dead. They are threads of your soul, are still alive in other dimensions. The instrument that is your soul has many threads, and all the personalities that you once were each form one of those threads. From the place where they are now located, they perceive the light in the distance. That light is you at this time. Those past lives that those past lives sense what is still undissolved in the self, what still hurts and was misunderstood in the times in which they lived. All that is undesolved now has the chance to be understood in and through you, and to become clear, so all pain can be released. When you deliberately make the transition to a higher self-awareness, is precious when those parts of your soul which have felt lost in the previous lives will find their way to you in your present life. And sometimes they will confront you with violent feelings and even blockages. Even though you cannot take them literally as yours, they do come back through time and space to knock on your door because they feel you have the ability to redeem them. In order to truly do this work and to have authentic redemption take place, you must first become aware of the fact that you are your soul. You must know that you are becoming that totality that includes all those lives seeking to become part of the vast temporary that makes up your soul. You are an earthly personality and at the same time a soul. This life has the potential of offering you the chance to integrate all kinds of odd aspects of yourself. And in all those aspects, in all those past lives, is something beautiful, something special, a unique talent, an energy, a radiance that has something extraordinary to add to you as a soul and also to the world. All those unique aspects uh, desire to now come to fruition. Some have become, some have been, as it were, uh, pinned in the bud and adopted. The conditions were then not suitable, and sometimes it is even the case that you must experience the dynamics of the energies of darkness and light on earth before you can understand those aspects more fully. Everything that becomes locked in a trauma inside you already seeks redemption and renewal. And so for that reason, it is it is sometimes necessary that you suffer and feel broken, but that is never but 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 that is never the goal. It is now important for you to realize that you have the ability, the power within you to free and redeem yourself. You have the spaciousness within your heart and your soul to free those old knotted threads in your soul's history, soul's history, so that the fruits and the torrents of those threads are free at last. And because you have now become so great, all that is possible in this lifetime. But you have not yet fully realized this fact. So you can then get so overwhelmed by the pain, the blockage energy of the past, that you lose all the courage. You then do not believe in yourself and your ability as the healer that you have now become. You are ready for it. Coming into your power means first of all that you see and recognize your own strength. Power is consciousness, and consciousness is the greatest strength there is. Everything comes out of consciousness. If this is confusing you, it is because in your life, in your earthly world, especially in this society, power is more often associated with doing and acting than with what is perceived as mere consciousness. That is a big mistake, because doing and acting, when not fed from actual consciousness, leads to chaos and imbalance. This is something you can see clearly around you on earth. There is so much chaos and imbalance because there are forces which are not guided by the knowledge of the soul and by love. They are often blind forces that are very explosive, but are necessarily important. On the whole, they are not powerful at all. The biggest forces that exist is consciousness. And what do I mean by consciousness? First of all, it means to be completely open and present. A wide open consciousness embraces everything, does not divide things between good and bad, does not exclude. An open consciousness is always very curious. It wants to explore everything and wants to always go inward to the core of things, not to just not to just not not to stay just on the exterior, but to go in the interior. An open consciousness does not say no to heavy emotions or dark expressions. It wants to go inward and understand why, because this consciousness is deeply aware of all embracing love. The ectrope consciousness, which is the core consciousness of the life of God, is certain of this love, and it seeks for the light behind everything, and for what has a need for light. It never divides things into good and bad. Rather, it takes a distinction between maturity and immaturity. Behind the many manifestations of evil is a child in need, and an expansive consciousness knows that. You can work on yourself in this same way. To approach your own pain, your own wounds from an open consciousness is the most powerful thing you can do. Because when you are open to love of self by looking at yourself with an open mind, transformation simultaneously happens at the place where it hurts. Everything is allowed because an open awareness is all embracing. It gives you a feeling of relaxation and of coming home. That is actually healing. Healing is not making things better or fixing some problems or putting band-aids on a trauma. It is being present in full, pure consciousness, so you gradually begin to understand why things are happening the way they are. The healing field of consciousness is where your soul merges, where your soul is also growing. That is what is being born in all of you on earth in this lifetime. I invite you at this time to enter into the field of conscious love or loving consciousness inside you, and to imagine that your body cells are open to this energy, which is actually your soul. It has the power, it has the energy of home, of your origin. Just look for a color or a particular feeling and sense that a deeper certainty lives in this field. The certainty that in the end everything is nothing but love. Everything discovers its place. Everything eventually comes home. In its essence, this consciousness is free from all cares. It surely knows the depth of the pain and lostness that you can experience as a human being. But it also knows that all this will end, that all paths will return home enriched by their journey through time and space. Feel yourself now becoming very strong. Concentrate on your inner being and feel an anchor in your abdomen or in your lower chakras. Allow that field of healing energy to descend all the way down to your root chakra. Feel how happy the earth is when you know your soul. The earth wants to support that knowing. Breathe from deep within your abdomen and feel how you are free in this field of love, especially untouchable. Whatever people do with or against you, this field remains, is unascertainable, it is internal. I would now like to encourage you to visit a dark place within yourself that is ready for your deliverance. Some things must be tucked too far away and are still not ready for redemption. But there are parts of yourself which are ready, and as it were, are sitting just on the edge with this very desire to be free. so that the original joy of life that remains stuck in that pain or that trauma can be freed. You need this part of yourself which is ready for liberation in order to become more happy and optimistic. So encourage it to step forward in your consciousness. Imagine this part of yourself in the form of a figure or energy or color or a symbol. Whatever comes to you, you can also feel it in a place in your body, but give it eyes. Imagine that those eyes express your tears and your hunger, your frustrations and resistance. Or maybe you see a very tenuous and etherical something that still cannot express itself very well. Whatever it is, greet it at once and try not to change it. Simply make it feel welcome. It is possible that all this part of you has been in the dark for a very long time. And now perhaps it first needs to get used to your attention. It probably has need of reassurance, because light can hurt in the beginning and may create a sense of fear or shame when you have lived for so long as a dark secret. That is why it is good to ask this part what you can do for it. Allow this part to speak. Ask it, what do you need from me? What can I do for you? Notice how calm you remain. No matter how much pain or discomfort radiates from this part of yourself, you are in the place of understanding and spaciousness. You also feel that you do not need to do something, that you only need to be present. Promise this part of you then that you are going to perform what it asks of you, whatever it desires, that you will meet its expectations as much as possible. When you do this inner work, allow yourself to be guided by what that injured part in you needs and desires. Think of it as the treasured game that you play with that part of yourself, which means that you do not begin fracturally trying to clean up yourself. You take your time for it. Your soul is in a dimension that is independent of earth time, often has a better sense of timing than your human spirit, who wants to act now, wants to see things immediate results in the outside world, because that is the way you have been raised, brainwashed almost. The dynamics and the rhythm of the emotional life do not work in a neat, straight line. The best vehicle for change are patience and understanding and compassion. And when you can give them to yourself without any expectation, without worrying about the result, then things happen without your trying to make them happen. Once again, that is the great power of pure consciousness, pure presence. It does what it does without pushing, pulling, or swerving. If your lives on earth, and by that I mean the lives of all people on this earth, were more anchored in consciousness, this world would be a very different place. People would remain more attuned to their inner spaciousness and remain open and alert. And in this and this and in this open, alert consciousness, new inspirations would bubble up without effect after a period of silence and stillness. It would come from a pure heart, and you would come to the conclusion that this is what I want to do. This is what makes me happy. Such a decision will always contribute to the well-being of all the people and the earth. However, however, because spaciousness is not utilized and the power of consciousness is underestimated, people go way too fast and often act from fear and anxiety. The result is that you get actions which are chaotic or even destructive, and that is not only very painful for the people, but also for the earth that suffers because of it. Realize as well that this consciousness I describe, when applied to your own life as a result of processing all trauma, does not affect just you. When you take that inward step and you experience that force of consciousness in your own life, it then happens that the field of consciousness on earth, the collective field, is also changed. No matter how small or minimal your contribution seems to be in a population of billions, it still makes a great difference. New openings are created through the work you do, so it becomes easier for others to do that too. You set an example. I would like to thank you for your presence and your dedication to this inner work. It means a lot to us, to yourself, and to the earth. I thank you so much. Namaste.